Welcome back to Repair, Restore, and Resell. Today I'm working on this Husky 5,000 watt portable generator. The motor runs with a little bit of help. I'm not worried about that right now because it's not producing electricity. But I finally found the problem. There's a broken wire that connects the slip ring to the rotor in here. So I'm going to remove the outside housing and try and repair that wire, and then put it back together, and hopefully it'll produce electricity. And if that happens, then I just need to run through the carburetor and do the usual tune-up on it, and it should be good to go. And I've got to build a front leg stanchion here as well, because that's missing off of it. So let me grab a couple tools and we'll get going on this. Okay, so we'll run these four bolts out to hold the end cap on. They've got the bolts are 10mm head. Okay, so I've got the bolts out of it. I've got the nuts off of the mounting legs, and I've got it supported with a couple pieces of lumber underneath the bell on there. So we'll see if we can get this to pop loose. And it's coming, but there's not a whole lot of room to swing over on the other side here with this heat shield for the muffler. Let me see, maybe I can pry this side instead of knocking it off. Okay, so we got a puller here to get this housing up off the bearing, and it's coming right off. All nice. That's the ground wire here. Okay, and there goes the stator. Let me set that aside. Okay. So here's your problem right up here at 12 o'clock. Let's see if I can get this to zoom in on it. So right here, this wire is broken off of here. So this one here, we've got to get reconnected to here. And then hopefully we'll put it back together and all all the planets will be back in alignment. Okay, so I've got my Dremel tool with a little brass wire wheel on it. I've got my dime store cheaters so I can see what the hell I'm doing on a tiny little wire like that. And we're going to gently just try and deoxidize these wires so we can get a good solder joint on them. Get my little long nose needle nose to hold this other wire. Okay. Now get some liquid soldering flux. And let me get my soldering gun set up, and then let's see if we get this soldered back together. I've got some 6040 rosin core solder, 32 thousandths. It's a very light solder, and my soldering iron here, and we're going to see if we can get this put back together. Doesn't seem to want to stick. Let me put a little more flux on it. We may have to clean it with the wire wheel again. I might not have gotten all the old varnish off the wires there. I'm going to have to try and clean that again. Because it's not taking a solder. Okay, let's try it again. We'll give it a little bit of flux. Nope. Well, I tried soldering this, but came to find out that this particular generator has aluminum windings in it. So there's nothing I can do to solder it. I talked to a friend of mine who deals in electronics, and he said to clean the wires up, twist them together, and then paint them with either epoxy or lacquer or something to just to bond them together and keep them from untwisting. He says that's basically all you can do with it without any kind of special equipment. And it looked like that's probably what was done with this before the wire broke, because where they broke was right at the base of where they were twisted together. And they had some kind of coating on them that I thought was just a dirty solder ball, but it was obviously something else. So anyway, I've got some lacquer here, which is just white nail polish. I don't have any dark colors because usually I just use this for marking, like marking timing marks or something like that. So I've got them twisted together. I'm just going to put some of this nail polish on there to keep them from being able to untwist or get any air in between the twists that's going to cause corrosion. I cleaned them up as best I could with with some 600 grit sandpaper. So we'll let that dry for a few minutes, and we'll put this thing back together. And it's either going to make electricity, or it's going to be a boat anchor. We'll see which way it ends up. Okay, I've got it back together. I'm going to give it a test firing. So place your bets. Is it going to produce power, or is it going to remain a boat anchor? Let's see what it does. Okay, well, that's very encouraging. I guess what I'll do now is I'll put the cover back on the end of the generator head, and stick it outside for and let it run for 45 minutes or an hour, and make sure it keeps producing power, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so we're going to take the Kalamazoo horizontal bandsaw, cut off a piece of band iron here to the length we need to make the legs for this generator that are missing. And I've got a small bender here that goes in the jaws of a bench vise. I got that from Lee Valley years ago. They're not a sponsor. It works very well, and they have another one that I think is 6 inches or 8 inches wide. This one here is probably about 3 inches wide, something around there. And it works. Yeah, it's 3 inches wide, and it works very well for small projects. So let me get this metal set up in the saw, and we'll lop off a piece. There's one bend. I gotta finish it up and get it hammered over to 90 degrees. Okay, so I'm gonna heat this up with the torch a little bit, make it a little easier on the vise and make it a little easier on the bender.